Hello, you fabulous fourth graders, you. This is Miss Sullivan, and we are going to be talking about addition and subtraction in this split video. Our I can statements are, I can solve an equation with a missing add-in using subtraction, and I can solve a subtraction word problem. Let's take a look at this first problem. You may remember this from your pre-test. This type of problem has a missing add-in. Remember, add-in is one of the two numbers you can add together to get a sum. So we're missing an add-in here. Now, we learned in third grade, and you even learned this in second grade, that our numbers have fact families. So, for example, in the equation 5 plus 4 equals 9, if we had a missing add-in, 5 plus blank equals 9, we could use subtraction to determine what number would go in this blank. So we could take 9 minus 5 to get our answer of 4. The same idea works with our 6-digit numbers. So to find the answer that would go in this blank, we need to take our sum, our largest number, and we need to subtract the add-in that we're given to find the missing add-in. So the first thing that we need to do to find our answer is we need to set up our problem. So we're going to take our sum, which is 467,587, and we are going to write that number on top. We're going to set up our problem vertically. We're going to take the add-in that we were given, which was 365,199, and we are going to write our number, directly underneath the sum we were given. And we are subtracting to find our missing add-in. Now, be very careful when you rewrite your problem that you line up your place values. Your ones with your ones, tens with your tens, hundreds with your hundreds. Say the rest with me. Thousands with your thousands, 10,000s with your 10,000s, and 100,000s with your 100,000s. And then we can proceed with our subtraction problem. So we start by looking at our ones. We have 7 ones. We need to take away 9. Are we able to do that? No. So we need to regroup our tens. We're going to take away a 10, leaving us with 7 tens. We're going to take that 10 and put it into ones, making 17 ones. Now we can subtract 17 from 9 and get an answer of 8. Now we move to our tens column. We have 7 tens. They want to take away 9. We're unable to do that, so we need to go next door and regroup. We're going to take 100 flat. So we'll have 4 hundreds left. We are going to add those 10 tens that we took from the hundreds column to now make 17 tens. 17 take away 9 is 8. In our hundreds column, we have 4 hundreds, and they want to take away 1. Do we need to go next door and regroup? Nope. We can take 4, take away 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. Your comma comes straight down. That stands for your thousands place. It comes straight down. And in our thousands place, we have 7 thousands, and we need to take away 5. Do we need to go next door and regroup? No, we do not. 7 take away 5 is 2. In our 10,000s place, we have a 6. We need to take away 6. 6 take away from 6 is 0. And in our 100,000s place, we have 4 100,000s. We need to take away 3. 4 take away 3 is 1. So your answer is 102,388. This would be our number that we would write in our missing add-in spot. Okay, I've given you another problem that looks similar to the problem we just went over. I want you to solve this problem, solve for the missing add-in. You're going to use subtraction to help you find what would go in our empty spot. Pause the video, set up your problem, solve for this problem, and push play when you have your answer. Okay, when you set up your problem, you placed the sum on the top of your subtraction problem, which was 345,287. Then you placed the add-in that was given on the bottom of your subtraction problem, which was 273,299. When we solved this problem, you notice that in your ones column you needed to borrow or regroup, so you went next door to regroup. You then had 17 minus 9, which was 8. You went next door in your hundreds to regroup, and you had 17 minus 9 equals 8 again. You had to go next door to your thousands to regroup. We had 11 minus 2 equal 9. We had 4 take away 3 equals 1, and then 14 take away 7 was 7, giving you an answer of 71,988. When we write that on our missing add-in line, we complete our problem. Alright, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're going to look at some word problems. We will have subtraction and addition word problems in this unit, so it's important when you are reading a word problem that you underline and circle important information. You also underline the question that's being asked of you, and you make sure that you know which operation you need to use if you need to add or subtract. So when we read through our problem, we see Lenny earned $356 mowing lawns this summer. The amount that he earned is important, so I'm going to circle that amount. He plans to use his money to buy a scooter. I'm going to underline buy a scooter. If you are buying something, are you earning money or are you giving money away? You're right, you're giving money away. So that's our first clue that we are going to be subtracting here. If the scooter costs $329, how much money will Lenny have left? If our scooter costs $329, I'm going to circle 329 because that's important. And how much money will Lenny have left? Left is important because that tells us that some money is going to be taken away and we're going to have some money left. So when we have phrases like we're going to buy or how much money is left, we know we're going to be subtracting. So Lenny had $356 and he's spending $329. Pause the video and set up your equation. Push play when you're ready. Okay, your problem should be set up like this. 356 is the number that's on top. It's our larger number, and when we subtract, our larger number always goes on top. So when we begin our problem, we look at our ones column. We have six ones, and they want to take away 9. We cannot do that, so we're going to go next door and regroup. We're going to take 1 10 away to leave us with 4 10s. Take that 10 and regroup it into 1 so that we have 16 ones now. 16 take away 9 is 7. 4 take away 2 is 2. 3 take away 3 is 0. So our answer, how much money will Lenny have left? He will have $27 left. There's a second part of our equation, or our question, that says explain your answer. So on your whisk right now, I want you to pause the video and I want you to explain how you determined that $27 were left in this problem. Push play when you're ready. Okay, so you had time to write your answer. Make sure that you had a great sentence starter. You might have said that I knew Lenny earned $356 and that he spent $329, so I needed to subtract $329 from $356, leaving him with $27. It does not have to be exactly those words, but it does have to be some explanation as to how you found your answer. Remember, answers like, I just know because I did it in my head, or I just know because I subtracted, are not going to be complete answers. So make sure you're really adding your details in to explain to your teacher how you solved those problems. Alright, here is another word problem for you to solve. It is a subtraction word problem. Make sure that you look closely at the details. I want you to pause the video and solve this problem. Push play when you're ready and we'll talk about the answer. Go ahead and pause the video, push play when you're ready. Okay, so this word problem was maybe a little bit trickier than the last word problem. This is actually a missing add-in word problem. It tells us that last week there were 23,456 fans at the Royals game, and this week there's only 17,997 fans, and we want to know how many more fans need to attend to reach the total from last week. So even though it's a missing add-in problem, I told you before you pause the video that you will solve this with a subtraction number sentence. So you should have set your equation up like this, with 23,456 as our top number and 17,997 as our bottom number, and then you proceeded to subtract. There was some regrouping involved, so you had to go through and regroup as necessary. And we continue on through our problem. And that gives us an answer of 5,459 fans that need to attend to reach our total from last week. Okay, and a final problem that I want you to solve is this problem that says solve to find the difference, 876,345 minus 654,999. When you see the difference, you know that difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So that's your clue that we're subtracting. Also, it gives you the subtraction symbol so that you know we're subtracting. So the important process here would be that when you rewrite your equation, that you line up your place values. If you do not line up your place values, you're going to make a mistake. So once you have your place values lined up, I want you to go ahead and solve this equation. So push pause, and then hit play when you're ready, and we'll see if we came up with the same answer. Okay, so in this equation, the correct answer was 221,346. If you did not come up with that answer, I want you to do some reflecting and go back into the problem and see if you can find where you made a mistake. Go ahead and correct it until you get the correct difference, the correct answer in the subtraction problem. And we are going to end with a joke. So our joke today is, what do you call a fake noodle? What do you call a fake noodle? Make sure you write down your answer. Don't forget your whisk is due on Thursday of this week. And I hope that you have a great night.